I've been in Yankee Stadium for a lot of cool stuff, and the feeling there that night was unlike anything that I've ever experienced before that, and certainly haven't experienced since.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Bronx Backstories. I'm Sweeney Murdy. As we approach the 20th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks, we think back on some of the great baseball moments of that season that helped bring the country back and bring New York into the spotlight around the country even more. One of those iconic moments happened before Game 3 of the 2001 World Series between the New York Yankees and the Arizona Diamondbacks. It was a series to remember, maybe more for the Diamondbacks than was the Yankees, but there was one great moment at Yankee Stadium that happened not in the game action. That is one of the, as I said, iconic moments of that time. President George W. Bush threw out a first pitch to a roaring crowd, threw a strike, and the crowd loved it. Everybody around the country loved it. And the man who caught the pitch was Todd Green, the Yankees' backup catcher in 2001. Todd, you played 35 regular season games for the Yankees. You appeared in 3 more in the postseason. I'm guessing that moment ranks pretty high amongst the others in your Yankees career.
Yeah, I had some good moments that year, but I can tell you that nothing in my entire career can measure up to catching that pitch. That's for sure.
It's a World Series game, not long after the 9/11 attacks. What do you remember about the pregame feel that night?
Of course, World Series games are always different than the other game, but I'm sure you remember they had the dogs coming through the stadium every 30 minutes or so they were checking, and I believe this was right after the anthrax scare and stuff like that. So that they were checking the clubhouse every 30 minutes, and there were times where, especially when President Bush landed, where wherever you were at, you got shut down. So it was different. It was a different environment, and certainly the routines were a little different than we had been coming to Yankee Stadium throughout the regular season, even after September 11. So it was, we knew it was different. We knew, obviously, being down 0-2, which we'd been down 0-2 before in the postseason that year. We were ready to play and excited about being back in our stadium. But it was different with all the security and everything that was going on.
Yeah, you're used to a certain security presence, but dealing with Secret Service and snipers on the roof of Yankee Stadium, that adds a little something different, doesn't it?
It does. Well, and as you said, we had security all year, even before 9/11, that the Yankees have to have that, need that, and that's part of what makes the Yankees the real big league. So it was definitely a different sense of security and a different sense of what was going on in the world, for sure.
How did you get chosen to catch this first pitch? And if I remember correctly, it was a little initiative on your part that made it happen, right?
Well, you'd have to ask Jorge what it's like to be chosen, because he was chosen. And so Rocket took forever in the bullpen that night. And so, as I have my glove sitting on the top step, just like I do every other game. So when the president ran out there, we realized there was no catcher. So I just grabbed my glove and ran on the field. And so that's typical of what I would do any other time, whether it was to warm up the pitcher when Jorge was getting his gear on or whatever. So it was just kind of routine to me. So there was no buildup to be anxious about. I just grabbed my glove and ran on the field.
You remember the feel of the crowd and the energy as President Bush ran out to the mound and gave the big thumbs up?
Oh, yeah. Well, the energy was already there. And then when he stepped on the field, it was different. I mean, you could feel it. It was electric.
Were you nervous as you stepped foot onto the field that night to catch that pitch?
I wouldn't say I was nervous. I was going to make sure that I didn't embarrass me or him, no matter what I had to do. So, but as you know, and you saw the way I received it. I mean, the catching metrics have to be off the chart on that. So and I didn't even have to go to one knee to do it. So, like, I knew I had to certainly not let him embarrass himself, which he took care of that himself. But I wasn't going to embarrass myself either, for sure.
Yeah. Did you know he was going to the top of the mound?
No, because we didn't know that story till after. Obviously, that whole story with him and Derek down in the cage, when he told him he better go to the real mound or they're going to boo him. So no one knew that conversation had even taken place until after. So that's one of the cool stories that after it happens, I think that makes it even more special.
The ball hits your glove I mean, there's an explosion in that stadium, and the good kind, with the crowd just going crazy. What do you remember about that feel?
It was so, electric is the word, but I'm not even sure it describes it. I mean, it was just a different goosebumps, you know what I mean? It's the fans are chanting USA, and it was pretty cool to be a part of, special to be a part of. Obviously, I'm very honored and thrilled that I was a part of it. But the feeling, as you said, when he threw the ball, and it was a great pitch, it was pretty cool to be able to feel that roar of the crowd.
And you had a moment with him after, right? You present him with the ball and you get to shake his hand. Another pretty special moment for you?
Yeah, I got some really good pictures of that, so it's cool. I got to shake his hand and tell him, I thought he was doing a great job of what was going on in our country, and then I was kind of off, and he was off too. So it was a pretty cool deal for me. Again, it's something for two of my kids who didn't get to see me play a lot. They at least get to see their dad was a real baseball player every year, every September. So
now, first pitch, I don't usually ask that question, but yours is obviously pretty special and memorable. So I'll ask you, you close your eyes, can you still see President Bush on the mound? Can you feel that ball coming through the air and hitting your mitt?
Yeah, I can. And, because I caught the ball with two hands, which I teach all the kids, catching the ball with two hands is the most improperly taught thing in the world. You only need one hand to catch a ball. And so I can remember, again, making sure that ball is going to be caught and taken care of. And yeah, I can go back in there.
So now it's been 20 years later. What do you think about when you think about the impact of that time, the impact of that moment, and how often that, not only you think about it, but people bring it up to you?
I think all baseball players at that time probably feel a sense of healing and helping our country heal and become united. So to me, that's the biggest thing. Other than that, again, it's pretty cool to be a part of something like that, but it also stinks for the reason why we had to do it too. So I think just the overall country being united and the sense of being one.
And I know that that's a memory that lives fondly for you, and the rest of us haven't forgotten it either. So thanks for sharing a couple of minutes with us on it.
Absolutely, Sweeney. Always a pleasure, bud.
That's Todd Green. Thank you for watching Bronx Backstories. I'm Sweeney Murdy.